don't know if any of you looked at the other badge parts besides these two that we were going to show today, but I just wanted to tell you, most of them are not hard. They sound harder than they are. Of course, we all made, I guess everybody finished their pinwheels from last week, did you? Okay. The only problem with this, we're trying to make it safe and use a pencil instead of putting it on something you would have to nail into. But these are so short. I stuck these out in my herb garden on a really windy day, and I'm telling you, they went wild. But I think if you could find something longer than a pencil, it'd be nice to have them stick up above your garden or above your flowers. But we were trying to find something that you wouldn't have to use a nail on. But if you get an adult to help you, you could nail through the dowel and make it however long you wanted the dowel stick. I don't know if anybody's had the opportunity to look at the list of artists that I sent you all. And did you see my picture at the bottom with the stick sculpture in the garden? I was one of the ones that actually helped make that. My job was really tough. We had these long branches of skinny trees, and all I did was wear gloves, garden gloves, and strip the leaves off the branches. We did that for 3 weeks. I mean, not me for 3 weeks, but we had volunteers helping. Patrick Doherty strip all the leaves off his thin trees. And then he took all those denuded trees and formed them into the shape. And it is just amazing. He really is super talented. He's made beehive houses. That was just kind of a leaning sculpture that I don't think you could actually walk into. But he's made houses shaped like a beehive where you can come in. But it's a lot of work to do that. I know it took 3 weeks just to strip the leaves off the number of thin trees that he needed. So there's a lot of artists who have done really neat things like that. But one of the people I mentioned to you, Georgia O'Keeffe, some of you may be familiar with her work. She's no longer living, but she was an artist who lived in the desert, the high desert in Arizona, and she was fascinated with flowers and cactuses and all kinds of things that grow in the desert, and she does really close-up beautiful pictures of flowers. So that's one of your requirements for step 1. If you didn't want to attend a performance inside and outside, or document how things change from one day to the other or one season to the other, it said you could research artists. So if you look at that list of people, I think you'll really be interested in a lot of them. The man named Smithson did a work of art called Spiral Jetty, and it's a circular spiral in the water. It's off a beach, and he put these huge stones in the shape of a spiral into the water coming off the beach. It looks really amazing. It looks like the kind of thing, if you were an alien flying above, you would think, what kind of humans could do that? It made a big splash at the time. I think that was in the 1930s, and he had done something nobody else had ever done, actually used the natural landscape to create art. And then a lot of other people picked up after him and did similar things. So you'll have fun if you research some of those artists. The next thing, which I would love to hear if anybody even looked at or thought about, is creating a rap song to go with nature, or a playlist. Did any of you think about that? Well, I was being chased by a wasp on a walk the other day. I took the dog for a walk, and this wasp just kept dive bombing me and buzzing me. And I thought, I think I know what I would use for this playlist. It would be anger and frustration and a little bit of fear of being stung. So it would be a really fast-paced piece of music. Then other days, everything's just calm and beautiful, and you're just enjoying the sight. So that would be gentle. But think about how your playlist would change with either the weather, or whether some insect is after you, or your dog's cooperating, or you're seeing friends when you're out on the walk, or the wind is blowing. You can just come up with all different kind of music for that playlist. I see we have somebody I didn't see before. Chris Diana, how are you? Is this your first day with us? Hi. Well, you've gotten some good ideas for clay and fabric dyeing and other things. Let me see if we've covered everything on this badge. Oh, the one I thought would be fun. It's the very last page, art powered by sun and wind. Now we did wind powered with our pinwheels, but what could you do with sun power? Yeah, you've got two, great. You could make a sun catcher. You could take, this suggested take a piece of brass wire and shape it into whatever shape you want. They have a spiral. And then string little beads on the wire and hang it in the window or a sunny spot and watch the sun. You could also make, and this is how people told time for thousands, millions of years, make a sundial. And it shows you in your badge requirements how to take a round piece of wood, put a stick in the middle, and then let it sit outside, and then you go out and check it. And when it's 1 o'clock inside, you mark a 1 there, and then you just go around in increments and mark the rest of the figures on a clock. And you'll notice how accurate that really is. If you figure the time it took your shadow to move from 1 to 2, and then you make the 2 at the next mark, then the rest of them will all be accurate. And that'll be the way people told time forever before there were mechanical clocks. So that would be interesting. And then a windsock, you could just tie the streamers coming out from a circular plastic thing. You could use the same plastic we use for this and staple it together in a long cylinder, and then tape or glue or streamers along it and see which way the wind's blowing. So there's a lot of possibilities for seeing how we deal with, enjoy, and sometimes fear nature. Why do I say that? When do we fear nature? Thunderstorms, tornadoes, hurricanes. We just had a tropical storm come through the Gulf Coast and head up through most of the country. Like where I was, it rained for 3 solid days. And we didn't have anything to fear because there were no tornadoes or no hurricanes near us, but we got the byproduct of that. So nature is really good and bad. It can be helpful and a little bit painful sometimes, but it's a great way to encourage you to do art by looking at nature. So I hope you all have fun this next week. Work on the same ones you've enjoyed this week. Try some new ones. Finish the requirements for this badge and enjoy yourself. I can tell you girls are going to have no problem because you're all very creative and all of you have done an excellent job for this week's projects. So good luck. Oh, you going to show us something else, Lauren? What's that?
I just made like a ladybug.
You made wings and little antlers, little antenna. And what's in the middle? Is that a kind of an imaginary creature? Or is it supposed to?
Like the green dots I made with the letters, I put it underneath the paper and traced it over it and then cut it out.
Oh, that's really good. And those are pipe cleaners for the little antenna?
No, I drew them and then cut them out.
Oh, okay. Very good. I love those colors. The pinks and the greens look beautiful together. Well, I can tell you all are going to have no problem finishing up this badge because everybody is very creative and has lots of good ideas. So have fun this next week, and I have certainly enjoyed being with you.